Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. For those of you new here, my name's Gary. I like watches, and if you're here watching this, you probably like watches too. And I've got a really cool watch to show you in today's video. It's a new release from Ciga Design. Now, I've shown you quite a few Ciga designs over the years. The first Ciga design watch I ever reviewed was the Z series. I love that watch. It's an affordable skeletonized watch, a great example of what can be bought from AliExpress that represents incredible value for money. And over the years, the Ciga design catalog has sort of morphed into something that, I don't know, I'm less enthusiastic about. The Blue Planet watches have certainly elevated the brand to a whole new level, a global brand, a brand recognized, I think, by most watch enthusiasts. But I recently reviewed their latest version 2, and I was disappointed to see that they'd put the 8000 series Miyota movement inside that watch. Mine wasn't running particularly well, and they were asking for about $1,500 for that watch, and it just represents poor value for money as far as I'm concerned. So I was very excited when I saw that they were launching a new Z series watch, and when I saw it I thought, yeah, that's much more like it. This is the sort of watch that I want to see coming out of Ciga design. Much more affordable, appears to be better value for money, more interesting as far as I'm concerned. A really cool looking sort of futuristic skeletonized watch. It's currently on Indiegogo. The retail price is going to be $549 for this one, though. Having said that, you can pick it up for quite a bit less on Indiegogo. If you want to back that campaign, it's $389 US, and well, it's actually, yeah, decent value for money when you consider these watches have DLC coating on them, which stands for diamond-like carbon coating, I believe, and the coating is tough. James and I put it on our Exciton watches, and yeah, these watches are more difficult to scratch with this coating on them. It's not like the older coatings that you used to see years ago that would chip off and scratch really, really easily. DLC is often applied to make things more scratch resistant and tougher. So the fact that these watches have this DLC coating on the bracelets, the clasp, the case, pretty much everywhere that you see or would see steel, makes these watches, I think, more appealing, better value for money, and the movement inside this watch is much better, in my opinion, again, than the Miyota 8000 series movement. It looks pretty cool. Of course, you've got a skeletonized dial, crystal in the back, crystal in the front, and I've put this one on the time grapher, and it is running really, really well. The Blue Planet I just reviewed was not running well at all. I was very disappointed with that watch. And this watch is significantly cheaper, and yet the movement seems to be much better. A higher beat movement as well, 28,800 beats per hour, 40 hours of power reserve, hacks, hand winds. Yeah, I like this movement, and it looks pretty cool inside this watch. Unfortunately, mineral crystal in the back, sapphire crystal in the front, and only 30 meters of water resistance. And there is, unfortunately, another issue, and it's one that raises its head fairly often on my channel. It is the lack of micro adjustment on the bracelet. Now, sometimes I give watches a fairly easy ride when it comes to this issue, and sometimes I go a little bit harder, and there's a good reason for that. It's a bigger issue for me the more expensive the watch is, and the longer the normal links are in the bracelet. If you have a butterfly clasp on a bracelet that has 5 or 6 millimeter links, and you have no smaller links, it's less of an issue. And if you're paying $150 to $200 for that watch, I think people are more likely to take a risk of the watch not fitting and buy the watch. But when you're talking about a watch that retails for $550, yes, okay, you can buy this watch on Indiegogo for $389, but that's still a decent chunk of cash. And the links in the bracelet are 9 millimeters long. I think you're far less likely to get a decent fit because the links are longer, and you're paying more money to take a gamble. So I think it does become a bigger issue. It's the same issue, it's just just bigger when the watch is more expensive and the links are longer, and I think it is a pretty big issue for this watch. I removed an extra link and the watch is too tight. I then added that link back in and the watch wobbles around on my wrist. I really don't like the watches to wobble around like this on my wrist. So for me, I'm unable to get a decent fit, meaning I'm not going to wear this watch. So my initial excitement for this watch has unfortunately been dampened a touch, but you know, it might not be an issue for some people. So yeah, let's continue and talk about the rest of the specifications. And yeah, there are some good features on this watch that I like. So all three options are made of stainless steel. I think they're all coated, you know. I think even the silver one has the coating on it. The finish on the steel is mostly a sort of matte bead blasted finish. There are some really nice little touches, some little polished surfaces here and there on the bracelet and on the case, which just ever so now and then catch the light and add an extra detail to the look of the watch. There's a lot going on, yeah, with watches like this. There's just a lot to look at. I do like the bracelet, very cool. Quite often their watches come on FKM straps. I'm really pleased to see this watch coming on a really nice H-link bracelet. It feels really nice in my hand. Pin and collar system, butterfly clasp, obviously I've already mentioned, double-ended quick release spring bars, fairly standard ends to this bracelet. So I guess you could wear it on other watches, but you're unlikely to because of the color and the coating. The case does seem nicely finished. I've already said the movement's running well. There is some lume on this watch. I'll share a little clip of the lume degrading at the end of the video, so we'll know whether or not it's any good. Very cool rotor as well. It's a sort of anchor rotor, huge pieces of crystal, not too much obscuring your view of the mechanics of this movement, which is, yeah, one of the appeals of watches like this, of course. And that just really cool, funky, sort of futuristic looking case and bracelet. And you know what? On this occasion, I think the bead blasted finish suits the watch. I generally prefer watches to be brushed and polished, but on this occasion, I think this sort of, yeah, matte bead blasted finish really suits this sort of futuristic looking watch. So there is still a lot to like about this watch, and compared to some of their more recent offerings, let's not forget the Everest watch, the various Blue Planet watches that they've offered recently, compared to a lot of their new releases. For me, this is a more exciting new release. It represents better value for money. It's the sort of watch I want to see coming out of Ciga design. I just really, really wish brands would pay more attention to people getting a good fit from their watches. Yeah, it's a problem that could be so easily resolved with a little bit of planning and just the addition of just one half link. Anyway, if you are interested in backing this watch on Indiegogo, you've got a little bit of time left. I'll put a link to the campaign in my video description. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not going to earn anything if you sign up to the campaign. Of course, they've sent me this watch for free. You did see the includes paid promotion icon in the top left-hand corner. And guys, yeah, let me know what you think of the watch and yeah, and the review. That'd be great. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching.